Okay. YouTube is always a little slow in its going live, but I just want to say hello. Terry and I took last month off, and
Oh,
we
sort
are
of.
okay, sort of took last month off. We just didn't do a podcast. We didn't take it off. Um, so welcome again. My name is Darcy LaRock, and this is Terry Osti, and you are listening to Agent Tech Mastery podcast that revolutionizes, that's easy for me to say, the real estate business. I have almost 3 decades in information technology, and Terry has been around almost 20 years being an agent. And
Yeah.
we're your guides, hey, to streamlining operations, saving time, and boosting your revenue. Discover cutting edge technology, systems, apps, and a mindset for a profitable and integrated business. If you want to know how to get there, you're in the right place. What's today's topic, Terry?
Central databases,
Yeah, I would say, yeah,
emails,
baby.
that stuff, right?
Central database. And what's very interesting, and Terry, you know this, is that the dream, I think, for any business is that you, especially a solopreneur, where most agents are, is that you update once and it updates everywhere, right? Because honestly, most of the time, that's not how agents are running their business. And so we're going to talk a little bit. I mean, obviously, everyone who's been listening to us, you can book a complimentary call and we can run through your specific setup. But I've been doing this almost 20 years with agents, and everyone kind of has this bad setup. And we'll talk about why that is. Make sense, Terry?
Yeah, for sure. I want to preface all this as well because
Yeah.
it's been almost 20 years for me,
Yeah.
and this is my third brokerage. I switched
Yes.
brokerages for some really good reasons,
Yep.
and for the first two brokerages, I had emails like terryosti@yahoo.ca and terryosti@hotmail.com.
Yeah.
Also use both of the brokerage email addresses.
Yeah, until I
Okay.
stopped you.
Okay. And I can tell you today, in real, live today for real stuff, I'm going to say 95% of the agents that I communicate with do not have their system set up properly. I get
Yeah.
Shaw emails, I get Telus emails, I get Joe the best realtor. Joe, that's one of your examples.
Gmail, Yahoo. Yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
best realtor at gmail.com, and
Yeah.
it's endless, and I even see some AOL stuff out there and other kind of, it's like,
Oh, I've
oh my
seen
goodness.
AOL, MSN, if you can
Yeah.
remember. Some of you are too young to even know what MSN is, or AOL. And that it really isn't a good way to run your business for many reasons. But we're not going to get totally into that. I talk about that until the cows come home. You guys, when you're listening, you can go to agenttechmastery.com and you can watch the training. There's a free training there that goes into this in more detail. Today, we just want to talk about what does it mean to have a central database. And when Terry was saying his issues, now his issues, that is true, but his issues were like the first year because he was with another brokerage, and then he moved to a different brokerage, and that was all within the first year. And then I wanted to say cotton on. That's such an old term. I looked at what he was doing and I'm like, why are you running your business with your Yahoo email? Because the truth is, it doesn't have to be that way and it shouldn't be that way. And there should be a single source of a central database that there's cross device accessibility so that if I add a contact on my phone, it ends up on your computer, it ends up on your tablet, it ends up in your CRM, and vice versa. And in reality, when that actually is set up properly, where there's no more multiple places where things are, you'll save probably 10 or more hours a week. Imagine what you can do with that. Have more fun with your family and friends, or not, or do more work and more prospecting, or look at your CRM and get a CRM set up properly. But it's incredibly important to have a central database. And so, Terry, how did it change your life way back when?
Yeah, no, it actually um it was amazing because we did this a long time ago.
We did.
And everybody that saw the system setup was so jealous.
Yeah.
And at that time, um, people wanted you to help them. They go, "Oh my gosh, how are you doing that?" right? And
It's a little bit of magic,
yep.
but it's just my IT knowledge for 20, 30 years. Back then it would have been 20 years or 10, I can't even remember now. Long time ago I've been doing this.
But
And it,
but you know what is unless you actually see it in action, you may not really grasp how it all works because I can guarantee you if I told one of my fellow agents and said, "Why are you using a Gmail personal account for your
yeah,
business?" They're going to go, "Terry, it works fine, right?"
yeah, it doesn't.
So that means that I think a lot of people just don't understand
Yeah,
what they're
yeah.
doing and how they're operating their business with the personal email.
Well, I can tell you maybe an easy way for you guys to know, like, are you set up properly? Number one, if you did edit a contact in one location, and now I'm going to talk about your phone, your tablet, your computer, your CRM. If you added something, edited something, deleted something, would it do it everywhere else? If it doesn't, you're not set up properly.
You're talking about everything syncing. So once you do it on one device, all the other devices will still show that same data. Will
Correct.
show the same data.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you are having to, update your spreadsheet, that's a no-no. Update your spreadsheet and then, oh, I got to also update my phone. Oh, I also got to update my tablet and I also have to update my computer. Oh, and I have to also update the CRM. Imagine how much time you waste doing that. It's, it's, it's like what our people tell us is that before we fix their systems, it's about 10 hours a week. That's like a day and a half of work. It's incredible. Like, so imagine if you could get that time back, which is, crazy. So I am talking contacts. That's a central database, but it's not just contacts. If set up properly, it is contacts. Your contact record should sync across all platforms. Your calendar events should sync across all platforms. That's another thing that we see a lot of problems with, that agents will add a calendar to their phone and it doesn't end up over somewhere else. So then they miss appointments. And they're like, I know I put it somewhere. Where did I put it? But the problem that we have is that for every email someone has, and this is the problem with that Gmail account and other things, is that if you've got 5 email addresses, again, that's about the average I see most agents have. Personal matters as well, because people don't understand where things are stored. That when you save something on your phone, where's it going? When you save something on your tablet, where's it going? When you save something on your computer, where's it going? And does your CRM talk to these things? Make sense, Terry?
Oh yeah, for sure. And and we've seen this a million times as well. And I'm super guilty of this as well. Is that if like I shouldn't say I'm guilty.
Yes.
And I'm guilty of wrecking my devices. This is what I'm
Oh,
trying to.
yeah.
So I've spilt liquids on my
Yes, you
keyboard on
are.
my laptops. I left my phone on top of a car one time and it got
Yep.
run over by another car.
Yep.
Uh, so anything that's resident on a laptop, on a phone, on a tablet, if that thing crashes, gets stolen, drip wine on it like I do every once in a while, that is gone.
Confession time.
Say goodbye to that data.
Yeah. And well,
Um,
that is something like if it's set up properly and everything is syncing and integrated,
mhm,
then you don't have a problem. Like when Terry does his computer dies for whatever reason, yeah, it's sad,
mhm.
but he can come and work in my office because he can find everything because it's all cloud based. When he
And what
logs on to his information, he finds all his files and folders that sit on his computer, all his contacts, all his calendar, all his photos, all his bookmarks are all attached to his one business email.
Yeah, and because I have a home office, I'm at my home office right now. I have a office in the Stillhaven office. I
Yep.
have a laptop that I travel with
Yep.
whenever I'm out and about. I got my phone, I got a tablet. So it doesn't matter what device I have full access to everything. So if I'm
Yes.
on the road and someone says, "Hey, can you send me that Strata package?" In 30 seconds or less, you can get the full Strata package from me
Yeah.
on the road sitting in my car.
Yeah. Because Terry's set up properly.
Mhm.
And I think that I think people know, I think what agents call it is being disorganized. in a very broad term, right? Oh, I'm just so disorganized. But it doesn't have to be that way. It is because of systems, and you don't have that central database. Now, Terry has that central database that he knows if he's on his computer, or if he logs on my computer, logged in as himself,
Yep.
that if he wants to find that document, it's there. It's on his phone, it's on his tablet, it is everywhere
Yeah.
because everything can sync,
Yeah. And one of
right?
the things, as we drill down maybe a little deeper on this as well, is your folder structure. We're not talking about contacts and stuff, but just your documents part of
Yeah.
that. Your folder
Mhm.
structure is so, so important because even though if you might have the system set up and you're organized, if you don't set up your folder structure properly, you'll never find something. So if you need to find bylaws for something, or if you need to
Yeah.
find a title or something, you
Yeah.
should be able to find that because your folder structure is done properly. That's another super, super important part.
Let me pipe in on that because
Mm.
that's true, except when it's set up properly, if you named things and you're looking for a bylaw for a certain address,
Yeah.
when things are cloud-based, you should be able to search for that address and the word bylaw and find it.
Yeah.
Now,
It's true.
okay,
Yeah.
when you're an agent who's really busy, are you going to have to scroll through stuff? Terry's absolutely correct. It's way easier if you have it set up that you know it's for 1, 2, 3, 4 Main Street, and you just go to 1, 2, 3, 4 Main Street, and there's all your stuff for 1, 2, 3, 4 Main Street. What agents do, and this is now we're talking about having a central spot for files and folders. What I consistently see with agents is that they don't understand how computers work, and why would you? You just like, okay, I just don't know where's my stuff. But a Mac saves things in a certain spot. A Windows computer saves things in a certain spot. So Mac save things to Apple's iCloud because generally that's turned on. And Microsoft computers save things to Microsoft's OneDrive. So you probably don't even know this, that you're saving things on your desktop. Macs, that's Apple's iCloud. On Windows, that's OneDrive. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I can't find anything because it's sitting there and you don't know how to access it. And then to add more problems is that they then download Dropbox because they think they have to use Dropbox because someone sent them a link. So now they have Dropbox. They have, let's say you're a Mac user, you've got OneDrive, and then someone else, then you have a Gmail account and you have Google Drive, and then you have a Gmail personal. So you have 2 Google Drives, and then you have another Gmail account. You got 3 Google Drives. Do you see the problem? 3 Google Drives, 1 iCloud Drive, 1 Dropbox. Oh, and then the brokerage also shared a folder with you that is something else.
Yeah.
So, like, where's my stuff? I don't know. And it doesn't have to be that way. What we do is we help agents take all the stuff from all the different places and bring it into one place attached to a properly configured business email address. Because all these things are attached to a properly configured business email address.
Yeah.
They have to be. And there's so many different, the top one, Terry's talking about file storage. The big guys are Dropbox, OneDrive, iCloud Drive, and Google Drive. Those are the top 4. There's other ones out there, but that's almost all the ones I ever see. Okay. So when people are telling me they're using an external backup to back up their files, not their whole computer, but files, they probably don't understand cloud storage and having a central database. That
Exactly.
makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's Chair's totally right. Folder organization is important, as well as what we teach agents is with contacts. When you have a central database of contacts, should you be labeling your contacts? Like we just had this discussion today, actually, with one of my members of my group, is that do you put electrician as a label for an electrician? And the answer is no, you just don't understand how to manage contacts. We do not label cleaner, electrician, doctors, because we should be able to find them if the contact record is correct. So that electrician example, Joe is in the first name, Blow is in the second name, company name is Joe Smith Electrical, title electrician, and then the phone number and anything else, notes in there, and that'll sync across everything. Then when you go try and find Joe, you can just type electrician and it pops up. doesn't have to be a label. You should not have hundreds of labels, okay, in a contact record. Now, when Terry's talking about folder organization, that's different because we talk about in email, you can have folder structure. On your computer, you can have folder structure. And just for the sake of, brain capacity, it's easier if both have similar folder structures, right? So you don't, oh yeah, I did this here, and this is if I want to go find something on my computer, it's here because it's in the same location. And that central database also emails. Why are you managing five, in that other example, five different emails? There might be a reason to have two, one for junk and one properly configured business email that has that central database, that central hub all attached to it. Questions, Terry?
No, it totally makes sense. And I
Because you're
because it's so important because you can have your contacts, you can have your calendar, your documents.
yeah.
And one of the other things that you mentioned a little bit earlier as well, I kind of glossed over, was bookmarks. And it's
Yeah.
so easy to do this. I should say so easy to do this.
It's not easy.
You have to understand it. But once you
Yeah.
understand it, then you get it, right?
Yeah.
But I can go from any of my computers, wherever they are, whether it's you're using your computer, my computer at the office, or my home office, or wherever.
Anywhere you can log
Yeah.
in.
And all my bookmarks are there. I'll give you an example in the real estate
Yeah.
business. In British Columbia, every city, this probably applies to most places. They have what's called a GIS system. So let's say the city of Kelowna, they have a GIS mapping system, so you can log into it.
What's
Uh,
GIS stand for?
Geographical information systems.
Okay. Yep.
So then you can go and look at the map of Kelowna and click on a property. It'll tell you the zoning. It'll show you where the water intake is, where the sewer pipe is, and lot dimensions, and all these layers of information on it. So I have one of my bookmarks is all the GIS links to all the different cities that I work in. So I can easily go directly to that website.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I
so
do.
when you
I
start
do know what you mean.
Yeah, so you start creating these lists of
Yep.
like BC Housing is a really big thing, and I have links to all these important portals at BC Housing that I go to
Right.
regularly. Same
Yep.
thing with all these GIS systems, and you start building this inventory of your common places that you go, and
Yes.
they're always there,
Yeah.
which
Yep.
saves you I don't even know how much time it saves me trying to find these places to go to do the stuff that I have to do, right?
Yeah, because otherwise you're searching and trying to wasting more time.
More
And
time.
that is, yeah, that's one of the things we also, oh gosh, I'm trying to think when I added this when we are helping agents. Probably 2 years ago, because I kept seeing when agents work with me, we have some of these meetings and I kept saying, okay, go here. And then they'd be struck, couldn't find stuff, like never. And
Mhm.
like, okay, hold on. I thought it was like you kind of said it's easy. It's not that easy. Because again, what happens on a browser, Terry's talking about browser bookmarks, is that regardless, there's, the top ones are Safari, Edge, Chrome. I'm trying to think of all the ones, Firefox, there's a whole bunch of out there, and they're all similar product, different vendors. Same with, Google Drive, OneDrive, iCloud Drive, Dropbox, similar product, different vendors. So every vendor allows you to have a profile, and I'll use Gmail as an example because we're using that. You got three different Gmail accounts. Every Gmail account has a profile for a browser, and that's where people get so confused. They're like, I swear I saved that bookmark there, and then they log out, log back in the next day, and they go to their other Gmail account. It opens up a different browser bookmarks. And then imagine also if you're, and I don't recommend people do this, but they do it before they work with me, is they save their passwords in the browser. And well, now I save that password to that email profile. Then I save this password to this email profile. And then you're on another and you can't, I just saved that. Why can't I find it? That's why you can't find it. So what we suggest is having one profile, one set of bookmarks, not using passwords inside a browser. That's a whole other topic, I think, is another day. And then configuring it exactly how you want it. So that, like Terry says, that I have bookmarks that I log on to every day. I have bookmarks and folders on my browser every single day. And I have certain ones that open up every time I come into my office in the morning. I open up the browser and it opens up these 5 tabs of things, my email tab, my calendar tab, my CRM tab, things that I go to every single day, all ready for me to work. What do most people do? They have to go find the links and try and find to log on, and it wastes so much time. Thanks for bringing that up because that's so important. I can talk the power of browsers all day long because
Yeah.
it's so incredible.
And one of the things I know you drill down pretty deep on browsers, but I'll give you an example of if you understand what a browser is and how it works and how helpful it can be. I'll give you an example. So on our MLS system, if I have a listing that I'm going to cancel and relist, I have the ability to go in there and do the input myself, and not everybody can do that, but it
Mhm.
depends where you are and what MLS system you're using. So now, for me, when I cancel that listing, I have to create the listing again in the MLS system.
Yeah.
And all the information doesn't necessarily come over.
Okay.
So now I have to go through and it doesn't let me open up 2 tabs on the same browser of our MLS system.
Oh, your MLS doesn't allow that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
can't have 2 tabs open.
Yeah.
So it's like so frustrating. It's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? It's going to take me forever to bring over this data. And so I open up another browser. I use Firefox.
Ah, and they don't know they allow another
Yeah, they
type.
allow another, yeah.
Ah, good
But then I
tip,
have to
you
do it back and
guys.
forth and cut and paste. Well, that's the
Yeah.
power of browsers if you understand what browsers do.
That's smart, you guys, if you think about that, because I do know a lot of the MLS systems don't allow, I don't know, I guess it's security. They don't allow you to open up in 2 locations. So you
Mhm.
could try incognito or private browsing,
Mhm.
but Terry, you just used another browser. That's perfect.
Yep.
And I think we should close on this tip because I know how you work, I know how I work, and I was talking about it today with some of the agents I work with, is that one of the best things that you can do for your business is have 2 monitors. So what Terry's talking about is that he's looking at the information he needs on one screen. And then on the other screen, he might be copy it from there and then pasting it over here. And then 2 monitors save you an enormous, enormous amount of time. I have such a hard time if I go away. I actually don't ever go away without 2 monitors because when I did before, I'd be like, okay, how am I going to work on one screen? It's so inefficient. So buy 2 monitors. Do you have any last parting words, Terry?
Yeah, all that 2 monitor thing, because I do a lot of teaching in the industry as well.
Yeah.
So when you're doing a Zoom presentation, you have to have 2 monitors because you have
Yes.
presentation mode.
Yeah.
But if you're also participating in a Zoom session, having 2 monitors allows you to bring up a workbook or whatever, or something
Take
else that's
notes.
part of the course, or you want to take notes. So you have those 2 screens going. It's like it's a no-brainer.
It is, yeah, incredible. And they're so inexpensive now. I think before people didn't do it because it was fairly pricey, but monitors you can get a dime a dozen now. Really, I just go do it. I just bought one for taking away on business trips and holidays. So I have a secondary monitor, and it's literally not even a monitor. It weighs like nothing. It's just like a screen that becomes a secondary monitor. And it's so light. It's the best thing I ever bought for going away. Awesome.
Mm.
Okay, you guys, as usual, ask questions. You know how to get a hold of us. I'll give you some information because if you are stuck, I can't figure out, well, I look green or something. I don't know why today. Like, is it my glass? I'm not green, you guys. Don't call and say I've got some weird disease.
I
It's
know.
this lighting or something today. I don't know. Are you stuck in piecemealing your business together? Let's get you where you want to go. If you want my help to do so, please book a call at agent tech TECH mastery.com, apply pod. It's absolutely free to chat with us, and you actually will be chatting with me and possibly the best thing you ever have done in your business. Again, agenttechmastery.com/apply pod. And as always, I love to hear your comments. Reach out, listen. You can listen to the podcast on any of your favorite podcasts, Spotify, Apple. Check us out, and we will see you in the next few weeks when we do our next podcast. Thanks again. Talk to you later.